All right, we're out of halftime and into the second half here, the Coors Light CSU Basketball Coaches Show. And time to switch gears, talk some CSU men's basketball. Volume okay, Tim?
It's loud in my ears.
Is it?
I have no snare in my
I'll just
no snare in my headset.
I won't talk as loud then.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can turn it up or down.
Now,
okay.
That's an Eminem reference, by the way. I have no snare. It's the beginning of one of the songs. Yeah.
You know,
so I got to stay on top of that.
I just went right over my head.
I know nobody's really the cheerleaders got it, but that's about it.
Yeah, anybody under the age of 23 got that.
Yeah, that's it though.
But when you get to be my age, no, I
What is your age, Brian? How old are you?
I'm 35 years old.
Nice job.
Yeah, I know.
High five. You're catching me.
We can talk some Guns N' Roses, some Metallica, some Led Zeppelin, some Pink Floyd if you want.
Somebody said Fergie yesterday when she went over with Slash. And they're like, hey, Fergie, it's not a pole when she was doing her dance. And it was a younger person. I'm like, obviously, you've never seen Axl Rose because she's channeling Axl Rose identically. She really did a nice job with it. It did look kind of gaudy, though, right next to Slash. That was but yeah, so basketball coaches do watch the Super Bowl.
Yes, yes. And that was a question I asked you on the TV show because I was wondering yesterday. I'm at a Super Bowl party yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, is Tim Miles and their coaching staff, are they breaking down film right now?
No, we were watching practice. We were watching the Super Bowl game, and I probably couldn't tell you who won, but that's what we were doing. We were watching the game, and there was no illegal pools or any compliance issues of any way, shape, and form. So we're safe that way.
You went over to Jamie Bermel's house.
Jamie the golf we got ahead of that. No, we went over to Jamie Bermel's house, our golf coach, and he lives in. I think there's like a moat that opens up when you get to his castle.
Really?
I mean, it's nice, yeah.
Man.
It's good now. That's what happens when you win. He says, when you start winning the Mountain West, Coach, this is what happens.
That's right. You get to the promised land at that point.
On, baby.
The Colorado State men are 16-7 on the season, 6-3 in the Mountain West. Good for third, sole position of third in the Mountain West Conference. And split this past week against number 6 San Diego State with a loss and then a win against Wyoming. Let's first talk about that San Diego State game. And of course, it was the last-second shot by DJ Gay that did you guys in. And I don't want to talk about this too much because you and I have already talked about it 15 different times. But those are tough losses to go home and put your head down on the pillow and sleep well at night for coaches, aren't they?
There's no sleep well anyhow. But, yeah, it was a tough one. DJ made a very good play. First of all, just in the game, I thought our guys did a good job of being physical. It was a good half-court game. We struggle when San Diego State, we get their full attention. Defensively, they're really good and sound, and we struggle scoring on them, which, of course, we did because we only scored 54 points. And, the interesting part about that is I'm not sure since Wes has been gone if anybody else has improved their scoring average than where they were. Maybe Greg Smith has a point here or a couple points here or there, but really we're just lacking Wes's 13 points a game. I mean, we're still we're doing a better job defensively, I think, but at the same time, I thought it was a good game. We out-rebounded them. We only had 12 turnovers, including the bomb at the end that Adam tried to throw, but it came down to a point where we score with 10 seconds left. I don't have any timeouts, so we can't stop the play. They get it in bounds, get a running start. They decide not to call timeout, which was good. And and I thought Andy did a good job. We got him stopped, and then he got over a ball screen, and Dorian was still there, but he got some space and hit a tough shot. And it wasn't like he shot lights out all night, but he made the one that counted.
Yeah, and I think you just have to tip your cap to a kid like DJ Gay. He's a senior, and that's what seniors
player.
do.
Yep.
Yeah, and he put the dagger in the Rams' hearts. 56-54 was the final score in that game. I want to get back to Wes Eichmeyer, and you mentioned that you're kind of missing some of that scoring. Do you sit down and talk to a kid like Greg Smith or an Adam Nigon or some of these other kids that you want to step up and ask them to maybe give a little more in the offensive end?
I try not to, and that kind of gets you thinking maybe you should when nobody's really picking it up. But I did talk to Jesse Carr before the Wyoming game, and I can't repeat the entire content of the conversation, but it was we had a talk, and I thought Jesse responded well from that too. And at the end of the day, you hope guys realize that they've got to pick it up too. And Greg Smith has at times.
Yep.
He had 14, but also that comes with just more playing time with Greg too. So we're going to need help. I'm not sure when Wes will be back. It'll probably be a game time decision again on Saturday.
So again, the 6th-ranked Aztecs need a last-second shot to escape Moby with the victory. The Rams, though, would bounce back against Wyoming on Saturday. We'll talk about that and a lot more as we continue tonight here from the Beach House Grill in Old Town Fort Collins. From Delegate Sports is the Colorado State Sports Network. All right, a few more segments left tonight here on the Coors Light CSU Basketball Coaches Show. Thanks to Kristen Holt. Earlier joined us here talking CSU Women's Hoops. Now Tim Miles, head coach of the Colorado State men, joining us as his ball club sole possession of third place in the Mountain West Conference behind a couple of top 10 teams. Well, the Rams bounced back from the loss against San Diego State on Wednesday with a 59-56 victory against Wyoming on Saturday. And before we talk about that game in particular, news coming down from Laramie today that Heath Schroyer, who is also in his fourth year, like you're in your fourth year, you guys started at the same time, he was fired as the head basketball coach at Wyoming just a couple hours ago. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's always disappointing when another coach gets fired, and I know they've endured a lot of things like we endured my first 2 years. They kind of caught it later, and it's just unfortunate that there wasn't enough equity built for him to be able to save his job. And he's a good guy, I just wondered to myself, what if they would have won the game against us? I wonder if he would have got fired on Monday. Every game matters, and especially when it's your livelihood, when you have a family and they're in schools and you have to tell them we're moving and all those, parts that, I hate our basketball coach. He sucks. Well, you know what? He's a person too, and he's got all kinds of things in his life going on too. And it's just disappointing, whenever you see that and know what they're going to have to endure and all that.
Yeah, the high-energy fans never seem to think about the side effects of some of that stuff. And those are tough decisions for athletic directors.
And I'm a fan in a lot of ways. I'm a fan about a lot of things, too. I understand that, too. And it's unfortunate, and that's the difficult part about the business is it becomes, you have a lot of problems to solve. You have a winning problem. You have academic APR issues that administrators expect you to solve. You've got to help raise money, raise fan awareness, market promote, that sort of thing, recruit the right kind of guys, keep them out of trouble all the time. And there's just a lot of things to manage. And when one of those areas doesn't go well, and the one that really matters is still winning games. That's the one that matters. I don't care how they spell it out. And I read the press release on Heath's APR is glowing, how much has improved. And we've improved our APR. We had one of the 10 worst APRs in the country when we took over, and we've endured a lot of penalty because of that. And, living down the sins of the others is sometimes frustrating. But at the same time, if I don't win, I'm going to get fired. And bottom line is you have to win basketball games. And that's the hard part about it, I think, that there's just a lot of problems to solve, and there's very little patience to see it through sometimes. Yeah,
Heath Schroyer was in the middle of his fourth season. Into the 3+ years, he went 49-68 overall, 16-48 in conference play. This year, the Pokes, they battled a ton of injuries, including their best player, Fon Majeki. They've gone 8-15, 1-8 here this year. So, again, Heath Schroyer has been fired as the head coach at Wyoming. All right, we're running behind. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll talk about the Wyoming game. I guess, can we say Tim Miles got him fired?
Don't say that. Jeez.
Colorado State got Heath Schroyer fired.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just say that.
Knows?
All right, we'll be back after this from Delegate Sports and the Colorado State Sports Network. Back here at the Beach House Grill on a Monday night for the Coors Light CSU Basketball Coaches Show. Brian Roth with you, along with head coach Tim Miles. Well, Frontier is your lift ticket to over 50 top ski resorts across the country. Make sure to check out their new daily service from Denver to Steamboat. Find mountains of ski deals for your perfect winter getaway at FrontierAirlines.com. Well, Tim, the game against Wyoming, 59-56. You knew that would be a tough place to go up and win, and you win by 3. Maybe it wasn't that pretty, but that's a big road win for your ball club.
Yeah, it was an important road win. It was interesting. I read in the San Diego paper because they had a really tough game at home against TCU, and in the opening remarks from the sports writer was DJ Gay basking in the afterglow of a big win at Colorado State, and suffered the after effects of like it was a hangover. And I thought, well, first of all, when's the last time they said that? That was interesting. But it's true. I think that game really had an impact on both teams. And it was just a real tough one to kind of get over. But I thought our bench, obviously, is the big key to that game. Our bench guys, Pierce Hornig, Jesse Carr, Andre McFarland, Will Bell. Who am I missing here? I'm missing one. Dwight Smith had a tip in.
Dwight did have a tip in.
Dwight, yeah, and I think I was missing one other guy, too, off that. Were really critical for us to just find a way to win. And, we score 113 on the weekend, or on the week. That's just not many points for us, and it's tough.
Yeah, you look at that game on Saturday. We've talked about becoming a consistent team on the road and being a confident team on the road. You're going down the stretch in that contest. I think the previous road wins for your ball club certainly helped out. I mean, I think you have a ball club that now believes that road games are theirs to win, and a close game on the road, they're gonna go and get the job done. Because I'm not sure if you maybe win that game last year.
Yeah, well,
you
no, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, but
it's hard to tell.
You don't have your best stuff, and yet you still win.
Yeah, on the road.
On the road.
It was a good win, and you just the example I think I used with you in the post game show is one we don't always talk about. We talk about a fair amount, which is sometimes coaching is like you're a NASCAR mechanic. NASCAR, all the cars are supposed to be equal. There's supposed to be no real advantage. So as a coach, sometimes you've just got to tinker and fine tune and do whatever you can to get that car going just a little bit better than the next car. And that's not talking about coaching or just getting your guys to compete. And it's as much the psychology as schematics or anything else, or playing the right guys. And we got lucky, with playing the energy guys and guys like Pierce. And I think were really critical for us. Jesse Carr had a nice run. And like I say, Andre McFarland hadn't scored in a month, came in and scored 5 really important points for us.
Yeah, elaborate on Pierce Hornung, because that's as well as I've seen him play. And we talked about it in the postgame, but he comes in the first 20 seconds he's in the game. One offensive rebound, the extended possession, gets another offensive rebound and scores it.
I think, yeah. He, and it reminded me of Denver, too. Denver, we kind of went through, like we were maybe a little nervous or a little whatever, and Pierce came in and changed the game. They were up 13-4 on us or whatever, and Pierce immediately changed the game. And I thought he did the same thing against Wyoming, only for a longer stretch.
Yeah, I love watching Pierce Hornung play. He plays the game the right way, and I'm talking to Ram fans as we go in and out of games, and I think everybody loves it when Pierce Hornung comes in, because I think everybody can appreciate the effort that he gives.
Yeah, you can't deny a guy's tenacity and a guy's he's too selfless at times. Against San Diego State, he passed up 2 wide open shots. The one was a shot clock violation. The other one ended up being a 3-second thing late in the game. And sometimes that works against him. And I really think Pierce kind of wanted to make up for some of that too. And you could tell as he came out right away, knowing this team needed something, and really made a difference.
So the Rams are 16-7, 6-3 in conference play. They get the midweek bye, and then they have a huge game against New Mexico coming up on Saturday. We'll talk about that when we come back here in the Coors Light CSU Basketball Coaches Show from Elegant Sports and the Colorado State Sports Network. All right, 2 segments left here on the CSU Basketball Coaches Show. It's brought to you by Coors Light. The Beach House Grill is the host bar and grill, as they are each and every Monday night. We invite you to come on out and join us 6 to 7. I believe we only have, 3 more shows?
Yeah, it's ending quick.
The rest of the year.
Ending quick.
That's amazing. Well, the Rams get that bye midweek, and then they get New Mexico coming up on Saturday for an Orange Out night, 7 p.m. tip-off from Moby Arena. So give me an idea of your schedule. You guys did not practice today.
We had groups in to shoot today.
Okay.
We brought different groups in, about 4 groups in. Some guys we gave completely the day off. We'll practice good and hard tomorrow, and then Wednesday we'll probably do the same thing we did today, off for a little bit, and then we'll start our prep on Thursday for New Mexico, and that'll be an important day for us. And we're 47 in the RPI. Some brackets have us in as a 10 seed. Some brackets have us as one of the there's the first 4 out, the next 4 out. They've got us. I know ESPN's got us as the next 4 out. They've got New Mexico ahead of us, UNLV ahead of us. So these next series of games obviously are going to decide what happens as a at-large team in the NCAA tournament. I mean, bottom line is it is what it is. I mean, it's time to go out and try and find a way to win. And I don't know that we can get in without winning 11. We have to get third, and that's probably going to take 11 wins to get third alone. Yeah. Because I think any tie with New Mexico or UNLV and we're out. Yeah,
11-5 would bring you guys to 21 and 10 going into the Mountain West Conference tournament. Let me ask you this, because I've had a fun time looking at the RPI and looking at some of the bracket projections and whatnot. It's fun to look at. It's good entertainment.
I wish they wouldn't have started in
Don't
December.
you think it's a little ridiculous to do that in January?
Yeah.
We're 5 weeks away from Selection Sunday. We have no idea what any of these teams is going to do over the course of the next 7-8 games.
Well, I think we're 3-2, and we've won 2 road games. The 2 teams we lost were top 3 teams in the RPI, and I don't think we've moved ahead 2 points in the RPI, maybe 1 point. I mean, and a lot of teams, when you lose to one of those high RPI teams like that, you even move forward on that. So we're kind of hitting our heads against the wall where all we can do is we need to beat the guys we should beat, and we need to beat guys that people don't think we can beat. And that's the way we get in. And so you're at a point in time when, we're 5 weeks from Selection Sunday still, And I suppose now is probably a pretty good time to start looking at it. But when they're looking at them in December, I thought, you have
no idea.
Come on.
Yeah. You have no idea.
Our RPI going into I think we were going into Cancun. I think we were like 273 in the RPI or something like that, And so some of it you just kind of laugh about.
Yeah, and of course you guys boosted your RPI down in Cancun with wins over Southern Miss, who is now I believe 18-5.
Yeah,
Ole Miss, who knocked off number 11 Kentucky the other night. So those two teams.
And it's about your body work. They really don't look at head-to-head as much as there's no guarantee that if we're tied with Southern Miss at the end, that we get in over them just because we beat them. If their body of work is better than ours, they get in. So you just got to take care of business and worry about yourself and find a way to keep winning. And like I told our guys, I try and educate them what it's going to take. And then if we worry about the outcome, we're worried about the wrong things. We need to worry about our process and just take care of our process and fight every possession we can and see if we can find a way to win. And we're going to need to. New Mexico's got a great front line in Drew Gordon and A.J. Hardiman. They've got Phil McDonald at the guard. They've got Darius Gary, who's an all-conference guard. Kendall Williams, one of the best freshmen in the league. They've really got a nice team, and so it'll be an important game. And we're 0-7 against those guys, and they've let us know that plenty. So that isn't beyond us either.
Yeah, to get back to you talking to your kids about the process, all that, you've been open with them all season long, and you've not been afraid to talk NC2A tournament.
That's why I almost committed a felony after Hampton. I mean, it was one of those things. Yeah, we've tried to let them know what it's going to take, and that because we want to build a program that has that mentality that goes out. Every game is important. Every game's vital. That has a real workmanlike attitude about them.
Yeah, I just put that Hampton game out of my mind, Tim. I
kind of like to bring it up. It just brings the blank out in me.
That's right. Well, the Rams have lost 2 games on last-second shots with the San Diego State game.
Last-second shots.
Last-second shots, where the game's over once the ball goes through the hoop. All right. We'll take a timeout, come back, wrap it up here from the Beach House Grill of Nelligan Sports and the Colorado State Sports Network. All right, one final time here. We welcome you back here to the Beach House Grill, Old Town, Fort Collins, Coors Light CSU basketball coaches show. Well, it's going to be an orange out night coming up at Moby Arena as the Rams take on New Mexico Saturday, February the 12th. It's also Rams Legends Weekend. Former players will be recognized coming up at halftime. Tip-off set for 7. For tickets, call 1-800-491-RAMS or visit CSURams.com. Rams Legends Weekend. Do you know of any of the legends coming up?
I didn't look at the list. I think Deidre emailed it to me today, too. I wish I would have, but we usually have a pretty good group, and Deidre did say, Deidre Church said we have a very good group coming back, and that's a lot of fun. And we're the guys that started our Legends Nights. We decided we wanted to welcome our alumni back. We hadn't been doing that previously. We also asked if we could reintroduce orange as kind of a throwback color, and I think that's gone reasonably well, too. This is really an exciting weekend, so we try and put that all together, and should be a fun night. So wear your orange and have fun with it, and stand up and yell loud and cheer for the Rams.
Do the guys like wearing the orange uniforms?
I think they do. Yeah, the guys that look good in it.
Yeah.
Orange is hard to look good in. Now I've got a green suit and I try and get an orange look to it, and it's not that easy, But at the same time, it's a lot of fun. So this could be a very important game, a lot of fun, and it'd be fun to get our first one over Steve Alford and the New Mexico Lobos.
Yeah, you had mentioned Lobos are going to wear silver uniforms because I was a little worried orange against red.
Yeah, I saw that. Wisconsin and Illinois did that, and it was atrocious, even in HD.
So the Rams are going to take on the Lobos coming up on Saturday. It should be fun. Tim, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Okay, for Tim Miles and Coach Kristen Holt, I'm Brian Roth, and again a reminder coming up Saturday, February the 12th. It's the Rams and the Lobos. It's going to be a huge game, and certainly going to need all the fans we can get out there. It'd be great to get another full house like we had against San Diego State last week. Again, tip-off coming up at 7. For Tim and Kristen, Charlie Grimes, who is back at Master Control, and Bob Greenfield, I'm Brian Roth saying so long from the Beach House Grill.